Hello, YouTubers, and welcome to Level-Headed News. This is your host, Brenda. I have 6 articles in this episode for you. The URLs are in the description of this video for your convenience and whatever research that you would like to do on them. The first article I have is off of reviewjournal.com. It says, Ryan Bundy asked judge to dismiss his charges in Bunkerville standoff case. For those of you who are familiar with the Nevada case that actually all this transpired back in 2012, and they just got around to arresting these guys last year, and they've been holding them in jail, most of them up in Oregon, for the last year, and a bunch of them got the case dismissed. Or well, actually, one got the case dismissed, and the rest, or well, I can't even say the rest of them. A group of them were found not guilty, and there's still a couple groups up there still being tried on charges for the Oregon situation. And the ones that were found not guilty got shipped down to Nevada to face charges on the 2012 Bunkerville standoff. So if you're not familiar with all that, there's loads and loads and loads of information on the internet about it. I would suggest Jay Grady would be a good channel to go to. She's got a lot of information on it. There's several other good channels out there that have information on this situation as well. But let me read what's going on here with Ryan Bundy in Las Vegas right now. Ryan Bundy, who previously accused federal authorities of violating the Constitution when they seized his father's cattle, now claims he has been denied his right to a speedy trial. In a motion filed late Wednesday, Bundy asked the judge to dismiss his 16-count indictment on threats, extortion, and related charges stemming from the 2014 armed standoff. I'm sorry, I think I said 2012 a while ago. 2014 armed standoff near his family's ranch in Bunkerville. Prosecutors are trying 3 groups of people charged in the case, and Bundy is in the second trial group. The speedy trial right trumps any problems with the Bundy who is representing, or no, I've missed a line there. Wait a minute. The speedy trial right trumps any countervailing problems with courthouse facilities, overburdened court staff, or caseload, wrote Bundy, who is representing himself. The very purpose of the speedy trial right is to disincentivize the filing of vexatious and unnecessarily complex cases like this case. Accuses the government of tactically case by structuring it in a repetitive style with multiplicitous, I don't know, multiple, let's just say multiple counts to give to a given, or well, gee whiz, to give an appearance of complexity. My eyes see it, my mouth don't want to say it. I don't know. The standoff occurred in April of 2014. Did not announce the charges until February of last year. In the intervening period, federal investigators staged an undercover operation in which they posed as documentary filmmakers to gain access to. Bundy asserts that the undercover FBI operation was the real reason federal prosecutors did not bring charges until 2 years after the standoff occurred. He accuses undercover FBI agents of using attractive women and alcohol to trick his supporters into giving incriminating statements. The government spent more than $500,000 on the creation of a fake film company designed to trick defendants into making boastful, false, and incriminating statements that could be used against defendants, Bundy wrote in his filing. Defense attorneys previously argued that evidence gathered during the undercover operation should not be admitted at trial, but a judge sided with the government and ruled the statements were admissible. that several key defense witnesses have died in the 3 years that have passed since the standoff. Evidence and witnesses have gone missing and evaporated, he wrote in his filing. Among the witnesses who died was LaVoy Finicum, who participated in the Bunkerville standoff and later was shot by law enforcement during protests or protesters' occupation of an Oregon wildlife refuge early in 2016. Finicum was also the most important first-hand witness to the distressed and deteriorated condition of the cattle while in BLM custody, Bundy wrote. The people charged in the case accused federal authorities of mistreating the cattle during the impoundment operation, but the judge has limited defense attorneys in what evidence they can introduce at trial related to the cattle's mistreatment. Bundy and his brother Ammon, who likewise is being held without bail pending the trial, recently were acquitted on charges related to the 41-day standoff in Oregon. In Wednesday's filing, Ryan Bundy wrote that he has been held in solitary confinement or in distant holding cells without legal materials or focused on other false federal charges in the U.S. District of Oregon. He is being held at Nevada's Southern Detention Center in Pahrump. The U.S. Attorney's Office declined to comment on Bundy's filing. What's going on with Ryan right now? The next article that I have for you is off of Social Blade, and this is kind of going to sound like a advertisement, but I'm giving it because of the information. And I don't know, maybe I'm a little biased on this because I might give this a shot if it ever comes to my area, and you might be interested in it as well. I figured if I'm interested in it, you know, maybe somebody else might be too. So I'm going to throw it out there. YouTube announces YouTube TV, a $35 bundle of 40+ cable TV channels. Press event in Los Angeles earlier this afternoon, YouTube announced their own streaming TV service. YouTube TV will bundle 40+ channels, including the major networks like ABC, CBS, Fox, NBC, as well as cable channels like ESPN, FX, the CW, and Disney, all of which will be available for streaming online. The service will be available on all desktops and mobile devices and can be streamed on any TV using a Google Chromecast. TV will also include unlimited cloud DVR storage. Subscribers can record as many live TV shows as they want simultaneously without taking up hard drive space. DVR recordings can be watched on any device as well. There's no question that millennials love great TV content, but what we've seen is that they don't want to watch it in the traditional setting, said YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki at the press event. A subscription to YouTube TV also includes YouTube Red original content, which would cost $9.99 a month on its own. Subscribers have the ability to add up to 6 users, 3 of which can stream live TV concurrently to their plan. Has their own personalized recommendation and separate DVR storage. This is by far YouTube's biggest step yet in an attempt to move customers away from traditional cable subscriptions to entirely OTT content. Much like other bundles, however, it does have gaps. YouTube didn't strike a deal with Viacom, which means channels like Comedy Central and MTV are missing, and Turner Broadcasting, which owns CNN and TBS. YouTube will offer a number of its a la carte channels available for an additional cost. So with so much great content available on TV, we're thrilled to build an experience that lets you enjoy it as easily as you watch YouTube, wrote YouTube Product Management Director Christian Ostelian. YouTube TV is coming soon to the largest U.S. markets, with expansion planned shortly after launch. Those interested can sign up at tv.youtube.com to get notified when the service launches in their market. And it's real simple to do. You put your email address in and your zip code. That's it. So if you're interested in that, there you go. I know I'm very disgusted. My cable bill went up $10 a month. And they're not offering me anything more than what I've been getting, and my service sucks. Uh, those of you who watch my videos know that my internet connection is deplorable, and you can just imagine what my TV is like. So, you know, it's all through the cable company, and I can get other internet. Um, it's a matter of, you know, what am I going to do about the TV? So I thought if I like this article, maybe you will too. Have here is off of Conservative Tribune. It says Wendy's plans kiosks in response to minimum wage hikes to cut labor costs. The fight for $15 is less of a fight for a higher minimum wage than fight for higher unemployment. This isn't an opinion so much as it's hard economic fact, and Wendy's just proved it again. According to the New York Post, the fast food giant announced Monday that it would be adding self-ordering kiosks to 1,000 locations across the nation to reduce labor costs, pointing out that the self-ordering term used by most media to describe the move as a misnomer. The machines are hardly ordering themselves. All the implications were clear. Labor costs are getting higher. States and localities hiking the minimum wage and replacing workers with kiosks is a good move. Come on. And when he jumps, he really jumps. I woke him up and sent him flinging. Says, is there a huge amount of pull from franchises in order to get them? Wendy's chief information officer David Trim told investors last week, with the demand we are seeing, we can absolutely see our way to having 1,000 more restaurants live with kiosks by the end of the year. The Columbus Dispatch reported that Trim said the rationale behind the move was lower labor costs and the fact that younger customers actually prefer kiosks. They are looking to improve their automation and their labor costs. A good way to do it, said Darren Tristano, vice president of food service research firm Technomic. They are also trying to enhance the customer experience. Younger customers prefer to use a kiosk. The three self-service booths would cost the firm about $15,000, and the labor savings would mean the machines would easily pay for themselves in 2 years. Franchises won't be required to install them. Who want to speak to a human to order would still have that option. It's easy to see why Wendy's would want to go this route. Labor costs are expected to grow by 4% in 2017, while same-store growth is set to be in the range of 2 to 3%. The obvious solution here is to cut labor costs, and the easiest way to do that is to cut artificially expensive labor out as much as possible. To paraphrase the Hives, hate to say we told you so, but I do believe we told you so. The next one we have is off of BizPac Review. It says suspects in threats on Jewish centers is caught. Far from a Trump supporter, he's a liberal journalist. Police have apprehended a suspect in connection with making bomb threats to Jewish schools, centers, and a museum. And the suspect is an anti-Trump fake news reporter. According to federal complaint unsealed on Friday in Manhattan court, Juan Thompson, age 31, made some of the threats in his name and others in the name of former girlfriend in an attempt to intimidate her. NBC told gee whiz. NBC News reported. There we go. By his Twitter account, it is the same Juan Thompson who worked for The Intercept and was discovered to have fabricated sources, quotes, and created emails to convince his editors they were legitimate. Tim Young puts out a tweet that says if it's the same Juan Thompson, he's the former liberal reporter from The Intercept and not a Trump supporter threatening Jewish centers. The FBI complaint against Thompson quotes a tweet sent from that account asking for an attorney because a racist white girl was calling in threats in his name. And it shows the tweet here. It says, know any good lawyers? Need to stop this nasty racist white girl I dated who sent a bomb threat in my name and wants me to be raped in jail. Is littered with anti-President Donald Trump racist tweets. And there's a mess of those here. It says he even called for the president and 42% of Americans to be taken out. That one says 42% of Americans are filthy racist, appears, and they should be taken out along with Trump. Today, we have charged Juan Thompson with allegedly stalking a former romantic interest by, among other things, making bomb threats in her name to Jewish community centers and to the Anti-Defamation League. Preet Bharara, the U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York, said, according to NBC. Threats of violence targeting people and places based on religion or race, whatever the motivation, are unacceptable, un-American, and criminal. And Coulter fired off on liberal talking points memo editor Josh Thompson, who wrote a story critical of President Trump's response to the Jewish community center threats. And what Marshall said is Anti-Defamation League, Trump failed to condemn anti-Semitism. And Coulter says, did guy making bomb threats against Jewish community centers work for Trump? Oh no, he worked for you. Josh, what is it? Josh TPML, I guess it is. I don't know. Mighty fine print for my old eyes. So there you have that. And there's some other tweets and things in that if you want to pull it up and take a look at that for yourself. Next one is off of Conservative Tribune. It says, fishermen find grisly scene on America's southern border. A Breitbart citizen journalist in Mexico reported that a criminal cartel kidnapped and shot a newspaper hawker whose body was found by fishermen in the Rio Grande, the river that forms the border between Mexico and Texas. According to Breitbart, the body of 53-year-old Gerardo Pardo Franco, a salesman for the newspaper Zocalo, was found floating in the river near Piedras Negras in the state of Coahuila. The shooting was the 9th violent death in the city so far this year. That this report came from one of Breitbart's Mexican citizen journalists who write anonymously from south of the border, while the story of Franco's death was also reported by XEMU-AM and Lavos. XEMU gave his age as 57. Other details reported by Breitbart could not be corroborated. Franco's body was discovered Thursday by men fishing near one of the international bridges over the river, right across the border from Eagle Pass, Texas. Red Cross volunteers were able to pull the corpse from the water. Franco had been abducted from his home in the Mundo Nuevo neighborhood in mid-February by masked men who were reportedly with the cartel, according to Breitbart. His body was found only days after two other men, 40-year-old Emmanuel Gonzalez Salazar and 35-year-old Daniel Gonzalez, were found gunned down execution style in the city. While we couldn't corroborate some of the details, the basic facts are clear. Violence is epidemic across the border, all thanks to criminal cartels. And why, pray tell, is this sort of violence so widespread? Because of the factor that our loosely patrolled borders make it easy for cartels to smuggle drugs and illegal immigrants. And where's an illegal drug trade or any sort of thriving criminal enterprise, there's going to be violence. This is why we need tighter border restrictions. This is why we need stronger border patrol and stronger border. This is why we need a wall. That I have for you this morning is off of BizPac Review, and it says Hispanic judge accused of helping an illegal alien escape from ICE via courthouse employee exit. Now, judges are helping illegal immigrants to escape the law. An Oregon judge stands accused by federal prosecutors of assisting a Mexican national who illegally crossed the border into the United States to escape the clutches of immigration officials who were there to arrest him. Didier Salazar, age 22, appeared in the courtroom of Multnomah County Circuit Judge Monica Perez on January the 27th to plead guilty to driving while under the influence of intoxicants, there we go, according to KOIN 6 News. But Salazar eluded arrest by waiting immigration and customs enforcement agents when he apparently left the courtroom by an exit reserved for court employees. U.S. Attorney Billy Williams said that illegal immigrant couldn't have done it on his own. He had to have had help. And suspicion turned to Herring, a Hispanic. I thought it was inappropriate. I thought it was unprofessional, Williams said. I strongly believe that it just cannot happen again. But he said he can't say for sure whether it was the judge who was acting as a court referee at the time Salazar escaped. I don't know exactly what the referee did inside the courtroom, Williams said. The court's supervising judge told the station that the presence of ICE agents in the courtroom tends to create a chilling effect. We don't quibble with the fact that they have a job to do, Judge Nan Waller told KOIN in a phone interview. However, it would be nice if they were not inside the courtroom. Williams said he understands that Judge Waller would like the courthouse to be sensitive in areas, but I think that's unlikely to happen. ICE agents finally caught up with Pacio and arrested him on February the 10th outside of the court. We are willing, in effect, to not pursue a criminal investigation, Williams said. Hernandez, who serves on the board of directors of the Bar Association, declined to comment on the case. Now, I find this all a little bit difficult to swallow, that they're not sure who helped him and that, all this, because, and here's why, there was a big scuffle right after the Bundy trial in Oregon at this court, and it involved the Bundy's lawyer. And there was video of the officers taking down the lawyer in the courtroom. So it's obvious that they have video recorders in these courtrooms. Why do they not have a video recorder showing how this guy escaped? I'm betting that there's a video someplace, and I'm betting somebody's seen it and they know exactly what happened here. But hey, that's why they don't put me in charge of anything. If you like what I'm doing here, give it a thumbs up. Share it on your social media so everybody gets to hear the news. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. That way you'll stay informed. Have a great day.